Hi there, welcome to another edition of DesignSpark Ask the Expert. Today we're going to be talking about power supplies. So we're going to be talking about dimensioning, characteristics, and optimization of power supplies. Today I'm joined by Siemens, and I have Ralf Schwartzman, who works for Siemens in the SITOP power supply range. Hi Ralf, do you want to give an introduction to yourself?
Hello. Yes, of course. So my name is Ralf Schatzmann. I'm the product manager from the SITOP power supply PSU 6200 and also 8200, and also some additional modules like the buffer module and the redundancy module. And happy to be here today.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for taking the time to join us, Ralf. I really do appreciate that. I guess what we should start with quite basically, obviously, power supplies, there is a myriad of choices to be used. Everything, that we use today has some form of power supply to it. But what I'd like to know is if we're looking to optimize applications with power supplies, what information would you be able to give us on that?
Mhm. If you want to optimize your application, there are several things what you have to consider. Yeah, some are from the legal part and country-specific regulation, and also some from the technical point of view. Yeah, I would suggest that you will take a deeper look on your consumers and on your loads. Yeah, and then you will take a deep dive into the technical data sheets from the consumers, and then you will see how many or how the supply voltage should be. You can use it with 24 volt and also maybe with 48 volts and 5 or 10 volt. Yeah. On the other side, it's really important that you will do a load analysis. Yeah. This means you have to take a look how many power consumption you need from the power supply to supply your consumers in a proper way. This is really important that you do not have an unstable application or unstable consumers.
Right. Okay. The other thing, which for me with power supplies, which is really kind of paramount, is about the to ensure that your system is reliable. So you were just talking about it there, in terms of the optimization.
Mhm.
If the power supply configuration is not fully optimized, it can be somewhat unreliable for that application. So I'm just wondering about, how would you actually go about the process, or what is it you need to consider when making a system reliable?
Mhm. There are many things what you have to consider because it's not only about the power supply itself. Yeah, you can also have a really reliable electrical cabinet by ensuring that you have also some plan B, I would say, in the event of a failure from the power grid. Here you can take, for example, a buffer module, yeah, which you
Yeah.
can buffer or bridge the event of a failure from milliseconds to seconds. It depends on the load, what you have to take out of the power supply. Yeah. And the other thing is you can also go up to hours if you use batteries, for example. Yeah. And of course, if you have a real critical application such as I don't know, in the medical branch or in the process automation, then you could take a redundancy module with two power supplies. This means one power supply will cover the second one in the event of a failure. Yeah. In best case, it will supply with a different grid. This would be the optimal use from this redundancy application. And
Yeah.
of course, something else to add, yeah, if you this is more from the import side, the buffer module and the redundancy module. If you will go or if you take a look on the output side, here you can use a selectivity module to ensure if you have an overload or if you have a short circuit, yeah, that you have a real reliable protection for your consumers.
Right. Okay. So there's quite a few things, obviously, to consider there. You were talking about buffer modules, and then also, backup power as well.
Mhm.
So it really is important, particularly within industry, where you have critical infrastructure, that some outage or over voltage or something down the line that you are quite unexpected, and you don't actually get hit by um, a downtime in the system. So it's really key to understand, what you're actually powering and how critical that application is to your overall business. So yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff to consider there.
Yeah.
But what I'm interested to look at then, you were talking about, additional power supply, you were talking about buffer, you were talking about batteries. So is there something you can show me, like what a combination of this would look like?
Yes, of course. We have such a virtual demo case where I can show you. I think it's about the overload behavior from our selectivity module. Here I can show you some functions, but there we should go into. So I have a video where I can show you this in a particular way.
Fantastic.
Yeah, here on the video, you see on the left side our power supply PSU 6200 and also PLC, where we get all the information from our diagnostic interface. We have a little HMI to visualize the data. And then in the first step, I will show you the overload behavior from the power supply with the miniature circuit breakers. And therefore, I will go here to the right place in the video, where is a little motor, this little wheel, and now you see in the normal operation mode the motor will take around 2 amps from the HMI. Not from the HMI, sorry, from the power supply, of course. Yeah. And now I will go and block this motor, and you will see that the output current from the power supply will increase from 2 to 3 amps. Yeah. And you see also on the left side there is this little utilization monitor where the second LED goes on. Yeah, and now here is the big thing. We do not have enough shortcut circuit or current that the MCB will trip. And in that case, it could lead to a failure, or it could lead that the wire will maybe damage them. And if I switch now to our selectivity module, so, and now it's the selectivity module is on, and then I will repeat the same process. I will stop, or I will block the motor. The output current increased, and now we have the feature that the selectivity module will grant up to 150% from the output current. It will not limit it. Yeah? And in that case, after 5 seconds, the selectivity module will know something went wrong, something must happen, and will turn off the output. And in that case, now you have two possibilities. Maybe you will go to the field and you have to open the electrical cabinet and will reset the output manually. Or if you have an higher control system, you can reset the output via reset signal from your PLC. I hope this was helpful.
Oh, absolutely. No, I think obviously seeing a video and explaining how this is all working together, it shows you what a combination looks like. So, in terms of the operational side of things, obviously the optimization that I mentioned and making sure that you have enough power fit for purpose within that cabinet, but also, looking at the key critical infrastructure that you need to maintain. I think what you've just shown is absolutely fantastic, and in terms of getting that information across, that video really does play to strengths. One of the things, obviously, within industrial automation, within installation, is the communication factor, for example. So, what options are there for communicating the values and the information which is shown, for example?
Yeah, also from the power supply, or I would say as I already showed in the video, we have this UDI protocol. It's a really simple protocol. You only need 2 wires where you will go to the digital input from your PLC, and here we will provide I think the essential data from a power supply. This is the operating voltage, the output current, it's the temperature from the device itself. Yeah. We have also the operating hours counter. This means you can see, or you can calculate such a predictive maintenance, I would say. And then, of course, we have some static information such as the article number and the production date.
Right.
On the other side, if you compare it to our selectivity module, then you will get also the information about the set tripping current, yeah, and also the actual current, yeah. And here you have the possibility that you will get all the information from different output channels, not only one, all. That only with one communication to the digital input from the PLC.
Fantastic. And are there any other types of communication? What else is possible?
Yeah, of course, we are Siemens, and one of our, I would say, biggest topics within Siemens is Profinet. Yeah. Here we have a higher sophisticated power supply, where you can communicate via Profinet to the PLC and the total integrated automation system, where you can set the output channels into different output voltage limits. And this is especially if you use different power supplies in one electrical cabinet, such as 5 volt, 10 volt, and 24 volt. Yeah, you only need one power supply, and you can set different output voltage in different output channels. And therefore, you can also use the integrated selectivity function, and you can therefore minimize the space in the cabinet, because I have a customer who needs different power supplies, many miniature circuit breakers, an external voltage regulator, and this you can all put together. So we put this all together in our PSU 8600, for example, and then you can minimize the space from your from all this stuff, from this, to a really narrow width, and you only need maybe one carrier system.
Right. Okay. So that offers up a great deal of advantage, obviously within cabinet design. And cabinets are getting smaller, circuits are getting more complex. We're asking a lot. So just to hear that about kind of the reduction within the cabinet itself is a real benefit. But in terms of the communication side of things as well, what are the advantages for the user, with the power supply?
You will get all the information from the power supply, and from Siemens or from SITOP especially, we have the claim that we are the heart of automation. This means you can take the data, and maybe you can do some calculation about the efficiency. Maybe you can also shut down some consumers which are not necessary for the moment of this process right now, but maybe we will need it in 5 minutes later. Then you can turn it off, turn on again. So it depends on the application, what the consumer or what the application have to do.
Yeah. I do like the analogy that you said there about SITOP being the heart of automation. Actually, when you think about power supply technology, you're exactly right. A good heart is keeping a high functional body working, and it's exactly the same in industry. Good power is keeping high efficiency machines operating. So that's a really good analogy to make there. I just want to come back to efficiency there, because one of the things that we obviously are talking about, and I have spoken to a couple of your colleagues about this previously, is around sustainability and efficiency. So in terms of power supplies, the efficiency value is where you can make real savings. So in terms of, sustainable options, efficiency, what is it that the SITOP range particularly can offer?
Yeah, so you mentioned already. So the efficiency is one of the main issues within power supplies. A high efficiency means a less power loss, and this is our main target. But it's not the only thing. One thing is also about the whole production process, and also from the production to the consumer to the user, that they will have a real sustain card box. We do not need, or we do not use any plastic. We also want to reduce the documentation on a minimum form on paper, and the rest is only digital via our Siemens Industrial Online Support Service. And of course, the devices should be so big as necessary. Yeah, this means smaller dimension means smaller or less usage of material, and therefore the devices should be more green. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and as I mentioned in a previous interview where we were talking to one of your colleagues about Logo 8, it really was a revelation to find out about, the whole product life cycle chain taken into consideration when we talk about sustainability and efficiency. But what I do like here is the link between both the product and the application of the product can drive up real efficiency, both in energy use and then obviously for material use, and thinking about, what actually goes into the product design. But then the output of that is the product application itself. I just wonder on this topic if there's anything else that you want to add?
So we have also other things what you have mentioned, we have in our documentation as well. Yeah, so we have a new certification. It's about a new, it's the so-called Siemens Ecotech label, where we can show the main things what we will do on this in this direction. And we have also this environmental product declaration documentation, where we also show that how sustain our products are.
Yeah, fantastic. So there's a couple of questions just before we finish. So we've covered optimization, we've covered efficiency, we've covered sustainability. What I see a lot of my travels when I go out to visit customers, we can see inside control cabinets, we can see a lot of the industrial infrastructure, and
I could Siemens products.
I was actually getting to the point that SITOP, such a well-known brand or such a well-known product for Siemens. It's very hard not to see that product in daily operation. So and the power supplies, that we see when we're out in the field, they could be, in service for years. So I'm just wondering about new products. What is there anything that you can see? Are there any trends, new product developments from yourself? I just wonder if you could comment on that.
Yeah. So we do a lot of research in efficiency and also new products. Yeah. And I think we release every year up to 5 to 10 new products. Yeah. But I think it's important to say that we cannot cover all the things what will happen in such an electrical cabinet, and there we want to that the customer will get the awareness, that they have to use the proper product. So if you imagine in the media and so on, then you will say that the grid are not so good as they should be, and we are facing sometimes the problem that we will have maybe a bigger blackout, and therefore we want to sharpen the awareness for the customer, that they will think about some situation, and maybe that they can also use some battery modules to ensure that they will have a really good operation, even if the grid will take a mistake. So there is a lot to do, and but our roadmap is really full, and I think that we will have in the next years here many new products from this side.
Yeah, I think you're right in what you say there about the grids and power. We come to expect that power is always going to be on. We can see a lot of the geopolitical activities around the world, power instability, for example. So I think this is definitely focusing the mind of people, but I think it's probably shone a light on a problem which people maybe overlooked from time to time, where they didn't have backup in place. So when you're talking about battery modules, particularly as you mentioned in medical installations, but for me, it is important in key critical installation. If you want your business to remain successful, you take that into consideration. So I think that's been a really informative discussion just on that subject today as well. Just before I finish, I would just like to maybe invite you to give an overview of the range, if you like, of SITOP. What is it we're offering customers across that broad range?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a new power supply family. It's the PSU 4200. You can see it here on the slides. There is the essential technical data, and I think it's a really good product if you will go to the if you need a really stable and reliable power supply.
Fantastic. Yeah. Great stuff. Ralph, thanks for joining us today. I've really enjoyed our discussion. I know the topic of power supplies can seem really deep. We could have probably gone on for hours if we really wanted to, but I know you're off on vacation soon, so thanks for joining us today. And I hope we can have you on DesignSpark again real soon.
Yeah, really cool. Thank you for the possibility. Thank you.